This is the Astrology and Tarot Show with Jessica Adams.
Thanks, Shane. Here is your psychic astrology for the week starting July 20. Your tarot this week is Aries, the Lovers, Taurus, the Four of Wands, Gemini, the Ace of Wands, Cancer, the Ace of Pentacles, Leo, Strength, Virgo, Temperance, Libra, the Three of Cups, Scorpio, the Emperor, Sagittarius, the Ace of Wands, Capricorn, the Two of Wands, Aquarius, the Ten of Pentacles, and Pisces, the Two of Cups. You can decode your tarot at jessicaadams.com. If you have Leo factors in your birth chart, then the Sun in Leo from July 22 goes into your zone of dating, the bedroom, pregnancy, babies, infants, children, teenagers and young adults, and some good karma from 19 years ago is on the way to you from the final days of July. Opportunities and solutions are waiting. If you have Aquarius factors in your birth chart, then the true north node of karma enters Aquarius on July 26. It goes into your sector of friends and groups. You are about to see karma from 18 or 19 years ago unfold for the rest of this year and 2027. You are owed or you owe. Aries, if you're in a partnership, the most important karmic cycle in 18 or 19 years begins this week. It will bring in the past and you will find one situation repeats. If you're single, you also need to bear this karma from 18 or 19 years ago and the repetition in mind. There will be days when you feel as if you've seen so much old knowledge about anybody new that you wonder why either of you need to go through it again. The person 18 or 19 years ago, the situation may have been completely different, but the song remains the same. The theme is there. You are now in a cycle when you can grow and develop more than you have in over a decade. In terms of close relationships and also children, teenagers or young adults, a high percentage of Aries people will welcome a pregnancy, adoption, or successful IVF between now and the middle of 2027, as Jupiter goes through your fifth house of expansion and growth. If you have anything in Leo in your personal birth chart, you can double that message. In other cases, if there have been issues around children or young adults, these will be moved out of the way quickly and easily by August if you take the opportunity. The fifth house is also about children and teenagers as a whole. So you may be a teacher, for example, watching your charges do extremely well in their final exams. Or this may be about godchildren, nieces or nephews. It's not unusual to meet somebody who has children from a previous relationship on this cycle and to begin a blended family. If so, it would be between now and the middle of 2027. Finally, this cycle is also about what they call a trine to your Aries sun. That is the best possible angle that Jupiter can make. And if you were born at 3, 4 or later degrees of Aries, it's coming around pretty quickly and you'll be in the spotlight. Taurus, with relatives or members of your household, something about their personality or the situation from July 26th this month will convince you that you are going through the motions of an old story from 18 or 19 years before. In short, it's all too familiar for you, and you may feel too knowledgeable about it. This can seem like an invitation for karmic closure, and it is. The South Node in its new sign of Leo is not an excuse for old thinking, though, according to your horoscope. In fact, it gives you a philosophical slant on life and the people that can help you. You also have Jupiter in Leo, so what this means between now and the middle of 2027 is that any issues with or through the family, real estate or the household can be resolved faster and more easily than you might have expected. You are also in a very good position when it comes to a house, garden or apartment, and to relatives or those at home. Jupiter is an ancient symbol of expansion and also the best possible outcome if you go through the open door. For some of you, this is going to be literal, and the door or a key will appear this week. Gemini. You'll go round and round with a familiar sibling, cousin or neighbour story this week. In fact, you may feel as if you're hitting repeat, as there is a sense of seen it all before with your brother, sister, and so on. This applies from July 26, and this cycle stays here next year as well. It's also very good karma with or through this person, be it a sibling or somebody next door or in the neighbourhood. You are owed karmically from 18 or 19 years ago, and therefore, according to all the laws of astrology, you will receive. There are rare opportunities and big solutions ahead now, no matter what you need to sort out. This can help you to remain calm and philosophical about what is going on. So what does it mean to have the South Node and Jupiter both in Leo, both in your third house? Well, this sector of your chart is also lit on your personal horoscope level. Radical changes here with the media and the internet, as well as brothers, cousins, and sisters. And radical changes also here with how you get from A to B, short trips, or commuting. It's the kind of revolution that sets you free, and you seem likely to break with the past again, having done it once since April. Doing this liberates you, Gemini, and your Sun in Gemini in your natal third house looks as though it's drawing your attention to what makes you stand out in the eyes of other people. This may be your way with words, images, or ideas, as you are the messenger of the zodiac. And if that sounds about right, then the project, the role, or the goal between now and the middle of next year gives you takeoff. Cancer. Past life financial debts and credits and those with real estate turn up now. If you are indebted to someone or a group of people, an organisation, or even a country from a previous experience 18 or 19 years before, that issue will come back again this week, which might explain the feeling of déjà vu. This also applies to the money, possessions, or property which other people owe you karmically. And again, we are going back to the past. Many astrologers believe that this cycle is related to the need for closure, and sometimes it's literally the same face or name. More commonly, it is the same issue or a similar theme which you recognise. Fortunately, lucky Jupiter is here to help you, giving you the biggest and the best in 12 years in his new sign of Leo, which rules everything that you own, earn, or owe on a personal level. How it looks financially with Jupiter and the South Node in Leo in your second house of money, and Pluto and the North Node in Aquarius in your 8th house of joint finance and property is karmic in a word, as what you do in 26, 27 will also affect you in a further 18 or 19 years into the future. You are being offered power and control if you use your willpower and self-control, Cancer, and a crossroads decision is coming up between now and August, and then again in January and February 2027. Leo. Well, this repetitive new image, branding, and profile cycle can make you feel quite cool, collected, and calm about your reflection in the mirror or on Google. You have inner knowledge about how you are seen now. You can afford to reflect on all those repeat situations which are now being fast-forwarded again about you. If you have challenging image issues to deal with at this time, the South Node in Leo for the first time in about 18 years and Jupiter in Leo for the first time in about 12 years will deliver good karma. The central question now for you is, should I be big, bigger, or biggest in the frame? And only you can provide the answer because this is your portrait. What this double cycle means in your first house is that setting ego or vanity to one side, the packaging is the product, and the way that you present, particularly online or on canvas, is going to change a great deal for you. Between now and the middle of next year, you are up for a makeover, provided once or twice, either by you or somebody else with an interest in the outcome. Virgo. Astrologers prefer people to try harder with their workload and well-being goals when the North Node is in the 6th house in Aquarius, and that's you. Even if a challenging situation with your workload or your mental or physical health is in the picture, it may be time that you admitted the reason that you've reached this point in your life is to use it as a launch pad for a new angle. There is no doubt that major questions about people politics have been there for some time, with your paid work, academic career, or unpaid work. Maybe your health, fitness, or mental health has also been an issue, and it has become political in the sense that people politics surrounds it. There is so much going on in terms of your role or goals now, because for the first time in about 18, 19 years, the North Node is also in this zone of your chart with Pluto. So, along with this and the fact that you have a radical change and a revolution happening with your ambition and your position and your mission, we'd have to say that between now and the start of next year, you seem very likely to change roles, take on a new project, drop one, switch your course, or embrace a completely different hybrid way of working, either paid or unpaid. All of this ties into how you feel physically and mentally and how things are going for you in regard to that. And this week parks it right in front of your nose. Libra, if there is a sense of familiarity or instant knowing around people or groups, the past is returning to you. A major karmic cycle for friends and groups begins on July 26. You might call it luck or a reward for previous good behaviour 18 or 19 years ago, but a welcome wave of change is coming through, for and around a friend or a group. Libra, if you have had issues with social media, friendship, old and new, or your circles, then the twin cycle of the South Node and Jupiter in Leo will help you enormously between now and the middle of next year. The 11th house of people, power, and allies is triggered in both your birth chart and also your Libra chart. So the same story is being told twice. In your solar chart, what it means to have Jupiter and the South Node both in your sector of community in the sign of Leo is that you are like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, or if you prefer, you are a member of the Supremes in the 1960s. It's on that level. People power in a circle is supportive, encouraging, and helps you expand. Joining a new group or making a new friend at this time is exceptionally lucky for you, and you may find that fate delivers exactly the right face or faces to your door, again, as a result of what you did 18 or 19 years before. Scorpio. Any changes which take place in your career, your unpaid work, or your academic career won't seem like changes at all, as the shape of the events unfolding is familiar to you from 12 years ago, depending on your age. You may have been studying then or in a job, but about 12 years ago, you planted an acorn, which is now ready to grow into an oak tree. This is the Jupiter cycle, which is associated with both the acorn and the oak. So growth is coming, and it is a tribute to what you began over a decade before. Classically, you'll now meet one major professional, educational, or vocational situation, which is also a karmic repeat of 18 or 19 years ago too. So you're being dragged back to the past, Scorpio, in order to benefit for the future. What it means to have both Jupiter in Leo and the South Node in Leo in your 10th house of success and status is that you did or said the right things. And as a result of that past good karma, you are going to be offered opportunities and solutions not possible in years between now and August, with more to come between now and the middle of next year. Sagittarius. A stuck cycle affecting your house, apartment, town, country, family, and a household will end on July 26. At long last, the North Node in Pisces is gone from your 4th house, so your home life or your real estate will no longer produce the sensation of being there and done that. You have been watching a video that's been stuck on permanent rewind, Sagittarius, and that can leave you feeling rather stuck unless you actively pursue new angles, and they are here. At the same time, the North Node going out of Pisces and your home and family zone leaves your sector of career, unpaid work, and academia open too. The nodes are in opposite signs. One is about where you live and with whom you live and your people, and the other one is about success, ambition, and position. Thinking about 27, 28 is not too premature, Sagittarius, as from around this time next year, you begin the biggest and best cycle in over a decade for your ambition, your position, and your mission. So a little bit of that is in the air at the moment, but you would be seeing the very first signs of it properly, the first steps towards that in August and September this year. Capricorn. Siblings, cousins, or neighbours now bring an ending from July 26. You're dealing with people and situations which you've seen dozens, maybe even hundreds of times, thanks to experiences from 18 or 19 years before. That's why this North Node in Pisces cycle has a reputation for taking you backwards with brothers, sisters, your aunt's children, or those nearby, in the neighbourhood or in a neighbouring place. The node goes backwards, not forwards, and so it leaves you feeling marooned, stuck, and wondering if you can actually ever bring about a change. That has been the story all year, Capricorn. But this week, that cycle stops for another 18 or 19 years. The karma is complete, you have done all you can, and there will be closure as you approach July 26. So what does this end game mean in Pisces in your third house? Well, it's also about media, travel, internet, and transport. And you are now approaching the end of a revolving door, when again, even though nothing that you said or did made much difference, you're about to see from July 26 that you can affect what goes on. If you have anything in Gemini in your birth chart, Capricorn, then this is a revolution, and make no mistake. It may be due to AI, it may be other changes in the air, but when it comes to your way with words, ideas, or images, you are being shown what freedom looks like. Aquarius, finance and real estate no longer have you on rewind from July 26. In all cases, though, you'll now be blessed with wisdom and intuitive knowledge because you've known this situation before in disguise, and your soul knows exactly what's about to come next. The loop or the circuit is almost over. It may have been legal, it may have been at the bank, on paper, or just with somebody's repeated script with you, either in the family or maybe in a partnership. What has been going on owes a lot to what happened 18 or 19 years ago. Karmic debts and credits are burned off in this cycle. So if somebody is here to pay back favours from long ago, it will be a case of closure, even if the person back then was totally different. What it means to sign off from the nodes in Virgo in the 8th house and Pisces in your 2nd house is really to accept that sometimes the revolving door stops spinning, and Groundhog Day has also stopped for you, Aquarius. You are now free to pursue a different path, and in fact your horoscope is telling you that around this time next year, you begin the biggest and best cycle in over a decade in terms of saving money or making it, as Jupiter, with all his abundant opportunities and solutions, will be coming your way then, and a great deal of what you set up after July 26, particularly in August and September this year, will contribute to that success. Pisces. From July 26, you sign off from a repetitive situation with a partner. The partner may be professional, personal, like a husband or a girlfriend, or purely platonic. So, for example, you may share a home, but that's all. You two, whatever the partnership situation is, have been going through the same motions for a long time, but it's almost over as you hear this. Once again, as with all nodal cycles, the issue will be debts or credits on a soul level from 18 or 19 years ago, either with this person or quite a different individual, but the theme is the same. The soundtrack spiritually is really similar. So spiritual favours, promises, forgiveness, or even karmic returns are on the agenda. What does it mean to have a cycle end like this in your opposite sign of Virgo? How can you make the most of the South Node in Virgo finally out of your 7th house? Well, there's a lot that you can close the book on. You may need to say something to the other person or do something for them, which to date has not yet happened. Or it may be that you need to hear it or see it from them because they are part of the karmic story. The nodes are well known in astrology, and in fact, they may have been measured at Stonehenge. In India, they call them Rahu and Ketu, dragon's head and dragon's tail. They circle each other round, and there is no escape from the loop, or at least there wasn't. What changes for you may be really obvious around July 26, 27, and then you're on your merry way. From the middle of 2027, you begin the biggest and best cycle of a partnership of all kinds that you have seen in over a decade. And a lot of what you begin around this time next year will owe a great deal to what you sign off from now. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch up with you next week.